Over the past 20 to 25 years, the NFL has really changed to more of a pass-happy game, with a bunch of teams depending on their quarterback and wide receivers. Because of this, every single successful team needs a successful core of wide receivers or that one great wide receiver. That's why today we're going to be checking out the top 5 wide receivers, in my opinion, in the NFL. What's up, everybody? It's AC Analysis, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 wide receivers, in my opinion, in the NFL. So, this one's obviously going to be a bit controversial, but that's just to be expected with a video like this. And this will be coming into the 2021 season. So, let's get started. Just to notify you guys, I'm also planning to make a video about the top 5 receiving cores in the NFL. The receiving cores can include the tight ends, the receivers, the quarterback, and obviously the halfbacks. So that's just a little disclaimer about what I'm going to do in my next video, but let's get started with this one. Alrighty, coming in at the number 5 slot, we got Chris Godwin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last year, Chris Godwin had a complete breakout season with 86 receptions for 1,333 yards and 9 touchdowns. He had a great breakout year on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this year the Buccaneers look even better, with players like O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski, and Mike Evans. The team just looks so great. Obviously, he has a new quarterback in Tom Brady. So I feel like Chris Godwin could just completely explode this year. But the only reason I'm putting him at number 5 is he had one great breakout year. The previous year, he had 850 yards. That's not superstar numbers that deserve to be in a top 5. But this year, he had numbers to be in the top 5. So I feel like he could, have a down year next year, or he could just be a one-year wonder. But from the season that he had last year and the team that they have this year, the Buccaneers, I feel like he could just only go uphill from here. He has another receiver on his team in Mike Evans, and Mike Evans is a number 1 receiver. He averages 1,000 yards every single season. He is a number 1 receiver. So they're either going to have to guard Chris Godwin or Mike Evans, and depending on who they guard, the other person is going to get so many yards. When you have 2 superstar number 1 receivers like that on your team, you're just poised to do great, and that's what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers look like they're planning to do right now. So I really feel like Chris Godwin this year could have a complete breakout, but only time will tell. Now, of all spots on the list, I feel like this one will be the least controversial of them all. Davante Adams at the number 4 spot. Because if you look at his stats, they're just always good. He's a consistent receiver who I feel like has always been underrated and just recently is getting the attention that he deserves. In 2019, even with missing 4 weeks, he got 83 receptions for 997 yards. And 2018, when he was healthy, he got 111 receptions for 1,386 yards. He is consistently Aaron Rodgers' number 1 target and consistently one of the best receivers in the league. And I find it pretty awesome how he's finally getting the attention that he deserves, since for so long people weren't talking about Davante Adams. Maybe it was because from 2014 to 2015 he only got 400 yards a season, but then after that he kept getting almost 1,000 yards, and one year even over 1,000. Want to see this cool stat? 2019 he had 997 yards, 2016 he had 997 yards. That's pretty cool. Not necessary, but cool. Coming into 2021, I also feel like Davante Adams will be a big factor and will be very good coming into the season. He looks completely healthy. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's ready to play. Well, except for if he gets benched for Jordan Love or anything stupid like that happens. I don't see Aaron Rodgers not playing on the Packers right now. So I feel like they got a good roster, and Davante Adams will have a great season coming into the 2021 season. Okay, coming into the number 3 slot, we got DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is just always one of the best receivers in the league. Let's take a look at his best season. In his best season, he had 1,500 yards, even with his quarterbacks, Brian Hoyer, Ryan Malkett, TJ Yates, and Brandon Whedon. 3 out of those 4 guys are out of the league right now. So with some of the worst quarterbacks in the league, he had the best receiving season in the league. So even with a horrible quarterback, he does great. So just imagine what he could have done with Deshaun Watson if Mr. Billy O'Brien decided to ship him off to the Cardinals. And coming to the 2021 season, I feel like DeAndre Hopkins will just be an absolute beast. Because the Cardinals, teams play against the Cardinals already have to worry about Kyler Murray's running. and his throwing, and players like Christian Kirk and Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is Mr. Consistency, and Christian Kirk seems to be a rising player. But DeAndre Hopkins really could completely shine because they can't not double cover DeAndre Hopkins. And because they're going to have to double DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald's going to get open. Christian Kirk's going to get open. So DeAndre Hopkins will make a ginormous difference on the Cardinals. And a few videos ago, I made a video on Super Bowl contenders, and the Cardinals were right there. And I feel like DeAndre Hopkins really is one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league, which is why he's at the number 3 spot. Okay, coming in at number 2, this is where most of the contention comes up between number 2 and number 1. And for me, the number 2 wide receiver coming into the 2021 season is Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is a great receiver, obviously, but he's not a deep threat. And he has a great quarterback in Drew Brees. You guys know who the number 1 is. But Michael Thomas, when I see him as a great receiver. He's obviously one of the best receivers in the league. And he's a consistent wide receiver. And I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that the other receiver, you know who he is just better, because that receiver can make a difference in the game in the deep ball, and sometimes that's needed. And Michael Thomas, from what I see, runs slants, hooks, and curls, but I feel like he is still a very good receiver with a very good quarterback. He just won Offensive Player of the Year, and I think he may be poised to go for another great season. Over the past 2 years, he's got 125 and 150 receptions. 2018, he got 1,400 yards and 1,700 yards. So I feel like he's going to be a great receiver, but I just think that from what I see, the other one has more of a fear factor and is just better in general. Okay, before we get to the number 1 spot, I want to put in some honorable mentions that I feel like you could really put onto this list. The honorable mention number 1 will be Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, the main reason he's here, his 2018 stats, he got 1,479 yards and was just a beast. And this season, he only got 860 yards with missing few games. He had a bit of a down year, but I feel like he is just, the reason that he's here is because he's such a fear factor. Whenever Tyreek Hill is on the field, you have to cover him, you have to have a deep safety on him, and he still puts up stats. And because he's there, he makes his other receivers great. And because he makes his other receivers great, he just makes the entire team great, because people are so worried about Tyreek Hill, they don't cover as much of the other receivers. Travis Kelce gets more chances to be open. So just the presence of Tyreek Hill is the reason that he is an honorable mention. And the next honorable mention I want to go over is the most underrated offensive player in the entire NFL, Keenan Allen. He puts up consistent stats every single year. Over the past 3 years, he's averaged over 1,200 yards a season, and he does not get any recognition. On a horrible team with the quarterback like Philip Rivers, I mean, maybe not a horrible team, but with a mediocre team with a player like Philip Rivers, Keenan Allen still did very good. He was always good, and that's why I feel like Keenan Allen is underrated and deserves to possibly be in the top 5 receiving competition in the league. And then coming in the number 1 slot, you knew after I put Michael Thomas on number 2, it would be this guy, but it's Julio Jones. Let's just look at this guy's stats over the past few years. From 2014 all the way up to 2018, he averaged over 1,400 yards a year. That's an insane stat. This year, he got 1,394. Kind of sad. But he was also dealing with injuries. And injuries have been bothering him for the past few years. But even in 2018, he got 1,675 yards. This man is an absolute monster. Even though he does not have a quarterback like Drew Brees, he's got a good quarterback like Matt Ryan. He is still so good. He is a threat. He has the fear factor of Tyreek Hill, but he has the body of Randy Moss and the consistency of Michael Thomas. Except for this time, Julio Jones can go deep. From what I see, with what he has, I feel like Julio Jones is and will be the best wide receiver coming into the 2021 season, because he has it all. He has the body, he has the hands, he has the speed, and he has the consistency to be able to run slants or just burn you straight forward. If you were building a wide receiver in a video game, it would either be a Randy Moss or a Julio Jones. So that is why I feel like the Julio Jones is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Alright, anyway guys, with that wraps up the video. Thank you guys all for watching. This has been AC Analysis on the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. Thank you guys all for watching, and see you next time.